Hey everybody, it's Andy Blanks, and this is our last teacher prep video for Exchange. I hope it's going really, really well. I hope your small groups have been great. And we're going to wrap this up looking at this final exchange, and it's the exchange of comfort for calling. This is a great one. It's a great one to end on. It's a really good challenge for your students, and I know they'll get a lot out of it. I know you'll get a lot out of it for teaching it. So let's jump right in. We're going to start with looking at the need for this exchange by looking really at the Great Commission, passage we're all familiar with. So when Jesus talks about sending out his disciples to go to all the nations, to baptize everybody, to make disciples in the name of Christ, I mean that's the call. I mean that's the call to get on board God's mission. And as we talk about the exchange of comfort for calling, that is the call we're talking about. That's a call for all Christians, not just a call for missionaries or church staff members. That's a call for every single Christ follower. That as we go, we're supposed to make disciples. We're supposed to call people to follow Christ. So that's the need for the exchange. That's why we have to have the exchange. We can't be comfortable and embrace calling, right? We have to go. We have to be active. So what's this exchange look like? How does Scripture sort of show it? We see sort of the similar call kind of given out in Acts 1:8, where Jesus is talking about this again, go through all the nations. Again, we kind of back this up, and Jesus talks about the Spirit empowering the disciples, the apostles at this point, kind of going out and sharing the gospel again. And so it's a Spirit-empowered call. And then I love this passage from Paul where he talks about being all things to all people. And to me, the way we sort of frame that in this lesson is this idea of comfort says, okay, well, I kind of realize I'm supposed to be on mission for God. If I'm a teenager, I get that. But there's certain people that, aren't like me or that aren't in my close circle of friends. And maybe I'll just kind of let those people be there, because it's not comfortable for me to kind of go interact with them or engage with them. And we're saying, what you're saying, what Scripture's saying is no, not at all. Jesus says, or in this case, Paul says, I made myself all things to all people so that I can win them to Christ. It's this idea that Paul didn't rest in who he was. Paul didn't reach out to those people who were most like him. I mean, he adapted his message and he braved persecution and discomfort to go bring the message of Christ. And so that's really the call for your students. And that's kind of what it looks like. How does this impact their life? How does this exchange from comfort to calling impact their life? We really wrap this up and kind of bring it down and really make it relevant by leading your students to see that they can't be ashamed of the gospel. We look at Paul, talking about, I'm not ashamed of the power of the gospel because I know that it's the power of salvation for all who believe. We try to help your students see that if they truly believe in heaven and hell, if they truly believe in the Bible, if they truly believe that salvation is what it is, and how can they be ashamed of the gospel? How can they be uncomfortable about sharing the message of Christ? And that's really just a challenge for your students, and it's one for all of us, right? It's a challenge for all of us that it's not easy to always be people who communicate the gospel to the world, but the stakes are too high. The stakes are too high not to. It's the power of salvation for all who believe, and so it's a powerful message for your students. And it ends with just the idea from Paul's writings in Romans that your students, it has to be an active obedience to the call. People can't hear unless someone preaches, and no one can preach unless they go. And so we're trying to help your students just listen to God's leading in their life and be teenagers, be young adults who strike out with the message of Christ and reach their peer group, their community, their city, and ultimately the world. So be a part of challenging them to do that. I know you will. This has been great having this time with you. I hope it's been beneficial for you. Good luck on your last small group session. I know it'll go great. If you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to give us a call or send us an email. We'd love to help you out. Good luck on this last small group session. Take care.